My name is Lon Welsh at Your Castle Real Estate, and I want to talk a little bit about the state of the real estate market in Denver, and this is as of about May 22nd. So we've been taking a look at the numbers for COVID since this crisis on about a weekly basis, just to kind of see how the market's evolving. So the first chart here that we're going to put up talks a little bit about the showing traffic, and the light purple line that's relatively consistent is the number of showings per active listing for last year, and it's indexed. So the first week of January is the 0% line. So you can see as the spring progresses, the number of showings goes up, and usually somewhere around May we get back down to the number of showings that we had in January. Then it's usually a little bit less during the summer, that comes back in the fall. The blue line that's got a little bit more action on it there is this year's traffic. So you can see that the showings in the first couple months of this year were actually slightly stronger than last year's. We had a very strong real estate market before the COVID crisis dominated all the headlines. And then as the stock market fell and there was a lot of negative media, you can see there's a plummet in the middle part of March on the number of showings, and then it was like pretty close to nothing when we were not allowed to show property at all across the six counties. Over the last couple of weeks, Denver County, Douglas County, we've been permitted again to take clients out to go see properties, and you can see there's been a very strong recovery in the number of showings. And actually about the last 2 weeks, we've been more or less where we were last year. Very, very exciting. And that's for the Denver metro area at all different price segments. If you're interested in a particular price segment, I've got 4 different videos that follow this that focus on different price areas depending on what you need. So this slide, again, showing you all prices. On the left-hand side shows you the showings per active listing. So basically the same information that we just saw on the slide prior. On the right-hand slide is the number of newly added listings. So you can see in March we were adding more listings than last year, and then the last 3 or 4 weeks there was a huge decline in the number of new listings coming on the market, and just recently it's come back up. My guess is that this full week we'll probably see slightly more new listings than last year. Really great momentum there. This is the exciting slide here though. If you take a look at the under contracts, which is on the left, you can see that in the first 3 or 4 weeks of this COVID issue, that'd be like the first week of March through about the third week of March, our number of under contracts each week was almost the same as it was last year. And then you can see like in the middle part of April that the number of under contracts was quite a lot less, about half of what we experienced last year. And you notice like about 2 weeks ago, once again we're allowed to show homes, you can see the number of under contracts has spiked really, really high. Actually the last week we had more that went under contract this year than we did that same time period last year. So I'm really, really encouraged to see the pace of the recovery and how fast this took place. It's almost as if it was like being at the Olympics and you're like watching like the 100-meter sprint, and like all these buyers are on the starting line, they fire the gun. You can go show homes, and off they all went, and they wrote contracts that afternoon. So pretty exciting to see that. On the right-hand side, this is the number that were closed by each week, and you can see that for the March time period, about the same number of closings as last year, but in April, it's quite a lot less. And the reason for this is that usually there's about a 3 to 5 week gap from when something goes under contract to when it actually closes. So if you look at the closing chart, you can see we've had 2 strong weeks of good under contract, 3 dismal weeks behind that, so that the closings are still very slow. Probably will be for another week or 2. You'll probably see a good bump at the tail end of May, but June is where you're going to really see it. So very encouraged by how fast the recovery is taking place.